Hey guys, Tyler Dallas here from Ty's Torque Talk. Today we're going to be looking at the 2024 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. This is my, without a doubt, favorite 4Runner of all time. The 2024 model year is the last of the best 4Runner, in my personal opinion, 5th generation. 2025, the sixth generation came in. They got the 4-cylinder engine, all that sort of stuff. I love this thing because I love the looks of it. The reliability, the longevity that you can get out of this thing in this 4-liter V6 engine is unbelievable. And so anyways, today we're gonna be reviewing all of it. We're gonna go over everything. We're gonna talk about the exterior styling, there's some performance features, off-road capability, interior technology, and take it for a test drive. Let's get to it. Okay, let's start things off here. Popping the hood on this 4Runner. See what's powering this beast. So right here, this is one of the reasons as to why this is my favorite 4Runner of all time. This is the 4-liter double overhead cam V6, naturally aspirated. Nothing can go wrong with it. Bulletproof, reliable engine right here. 270 horsepower, 278 pound-feet of torque. Not the most impressive numbers, but I mean, people aren't buying this thing to do any street racing or anything like that, or buying it for fuel efficiency either. While we're talking about fuel efficiency, MPGs, 16 on the city, 19 on the highway. This has made it to a 5-speed automatic transmission, right? It's definitely fallen behind a little bit compared to all the competition on the road with that 5-speed auto, right? Everything else is showing an 8-speed, 10-speed right by now. Anyways, moving on. 0 to 60 time, not all that impressive either. About roughly 7.6 seconds. Towing capacity, we're looking at about 5,000 pounds. And the overall weight of this vehicle comes in at 4,750 pounds. That's about enough for powertrain. Let's talk about the exterior styling. Okay, front end styling. Let's talk about it. So I love the overall, just the overall look, the shape of this vehicle. It's the reason why it's one of my favorite vehicles out there. I love the boxy, kind of rugged, off-road, aggressive kind of style to this vehicle all around. And then when you get the TRD Pro trim, it just accentuates that even more. So anyways, right up here on the front end, the hood, it kind of arches up just slightly. It's nothing too crazy pronounced, not crazy over the top aggressive or anything like that. And you get a fake hood scoop. The thing is, it looks good. It brings good character to the TRD Pro name. I just wish it was functional. If I'm paying TRD Pro money, I would like the extra functional hood vent or hood scoop there, even side vents. We're gonna get to that there in a second. But anyways, you come on down here, all black front end here, this whole grille, the lower portion of the bumper here, really like the look of that. And you get the Toyota Heritage badge up front, as opposed to just the normal Toyota logo, which you're gonna find on like the SR5, the TRD Sport, Off-Road, and the Limited trim. So I like that on the Pro, they went Heritage badge. I think it just kind of gives it more of a kind of cool, more kind of aggressive look, and it kind of separates itself from the rest of the lineup there. You come on down a bit more, you have the forward-facing camera for the full 360-degree camera group, the black lower portion of the bumper here. No park sensors or anything like that here up on the whole front end. I do like that you do get the forward-facing camera though, especially when you in a TRD Pro, you're taking this off on the trails. If you're on a super steep incline, can't really see the ground in front of you. This really helps out a whole lot. Not the highest resolution, we'll see that when we go inside, but it's better than nothing at the end of the day. And then underneath, you got some real metal TRD stamped skid plates under there, protecting your whole underbelly. And then over here, I love this feature. You're seeing it a little bit more on some newer vehicles out there now. Toyota's been doing it for a handful of years now, but they have the exterior mounted block heater. So then you don't have to stick out a cord through the hood or through the grill or anything like that. It's just really easily accessible. And then coming over here, this is definitely where the 4Runner is gonna show its age a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say show its age. It's only this is a year-old vehicle. But it shows how outdated it is, I should say. This is a bit of a dinosaur vehicle. Back in 2020, they did update the headlights a little bit. They added LED bulbs in here. So you do have LED low beam headlights and fog lights, where you still get the old school classic Thomas Edison incandescent light bulbs for your high beams and for the turn signals. It's a good looking light overall. I mean, I like the shape and everything like that. I just wish it would have more of a pronounced, say, LED daytime running light, like every single other vehicle in the entire world has right now in the 2024 model year. The one nice thing though with this is that The 4Runners, kind of same thing with like Jeep Wranglers. They are one of the most customizable vehicles in the entire world. So there's 100 million different aftermarket headlights, backlights, everything that you can get for this. If I personally were to buy a TRD Pro or a 4Runner, just any type of 4Runner, 5th gen 4Runner in general there, it's probably one of the first things I do is update the lighting on it. And it's just below that here, I was talking about a second ago, you do have more fake vents here on the side. They're fake air curtains. Again, I wish on the TRD Pro that they go real and just poke some holes in those things, send some more air over top of the tire. But again, not the end of the world. I love these vehicles, but it's just there are a handful of little tweaks and changes I would like to make to them. That you're seeing a bit more of them in the 6th gens, but still my favorite here. But anyways, let's move around the side of the vehicle, talk about the wheel tire setup and a little bit about the suspension. All right, so wheel tire, suspension setup. So anyways, got a double wishbone up front, solid axle in the back. This does have the Fox racing shocks as well too. You get a nice meaty off-road tire here. So this is a full all-terrain tire. The name is Terra, same as the paint color, the Terra name. And then you have 17-inch rims in here. And it's kind of just, you know, the TRD Pro has, you know, in the Tacoma, the Tundra, the 4Runner, they've kind of had like the same looking rim for a little while now. I would like to see an update. Nevertheless, it is a great looking rim. You got the bright red TRD stamped right there, smack in the middle, and it looks great. I just would like to see them switch it up maybe a little bit more, but Toyota is all about tried and true. And this is definitely tried and true whole suspension setup here. And then one other thing that I would have liked to see again with a TRD Pro is maybe a little bit more of a lift. Add some more ground clearance over, say, the other trims. It's 9.6 inches here in the 4Runner, which isn't a bad number by any means. It is very capable. You do have a good amount of clearance. I just would have liked to see a couple inches increase over, say, the TRD off-road trim, for example. But enough about this. Let's go talk about the whole side profile now of this 4Runner. Okay, now moved on to the side here of the 4Runner. Love the look of this thing. It's just the boxy, rugged, tough kind of TRD Pro 4Runner kind of classic look to it. The windshield here, it's a pretty steep incline here. And one thing is the angle's not as sharp, say, as a, like a Jeep Wrangler or something like that, where you have to replace the windshield 15 times a year because of rock chips and whatnot. So you do get a bit more of an angle here in the 4Runner, which is definitely a good thing. And then here, side mirrors, you do get body color, the Terra color here on the top half of it. On the lower portion of it, you got the cheaper black plastic. And then here you have the cameras here for that full 360-degree camera grip. When I was talking about the wheel tire setup, I forgot to actually point this out. You get body color wheel well trim, which is kind of shocking to see on a TRD Pro on an off-road type trim. Every really manufacturer out there on their off-road models always do black plastic around the trim, and it makes a lot of sense just because you're going to be kicking up a lot of rocks into them if you're hitting the trails regularly, and this is gonna rock chip up a lot. So I am shocked they didn't go black plastic on it. I like the look of body color. I just don't think it's gonna age quite as well as plastic would. Down here at the bottom, you do get the full rock rails there on either side, driver and passenger. And here you do actually have smart, like the key proximity door handles, which is kind of shocking to see on a 4Runner. You know, I'm glad to see that they actually have that in here. I just wasn't quite fully expecting it just because of this vehicle is a little bit of a dinosaur and they don't really quite keep up with a lot of the modern day trends. So it's nice to see that they added that on there. Then up here, you got the full TRD roof rack. Really like this option, exclusive to the TRD Pro. And then you got the TRD Pro badging right here on the back portion here. But anyways, let's go around back, talk about the back end here of this TRD Pro. And then we'll hop inside and check out the interior shortly after. Okay, back end now of the 4Runner. Sorry, hands are a little bit cold. I didn't dress for the weather. I'm in Canada here. You know, it's like -8. It's like start of October. It's way too early for this. But anyways, right up at the top here, you have a bit of a spoiler that sticks out here. And then they do tuck the windshield wiper blade up in here, which I really appreciate. I wish more SUVs would do that actually out there in the market. It just cleans up the whole back end here. Main reason why they didn't put it down here is because this back window does roll on down. So obviously they can't mount it there on the back glass there. And I'm glad that they didn't go actually on the body there either. Then you got the Toyota badge there, the 4Runner name, the black trim, makes it look really nice. And then you come on down a bit, you got that backup camera there, no rear park sensors, which is kind of shocking if I'm being completely honest. For the price point of this vehicle, I'm fine if it doesn't have the forward-facing ones. It's just you would expect it to have the rear ones. You do have the backup camera, so it's not the end of the world. It's just an extra nice little peace of mind thing. And then on the TRD Pro, you do get a TRD sport tuned exhaust. Have a quick listen to the sound of it. All right, so if you want a bit more of a meaty sounding V6, definitely go with that exhaust option there. It's not the best sounding thing in the world. I mean, I'm a big V8 guy personally myself, but again, it's better than nothing, no doubt about that. Then here, the back lights, they did add like LED lights right for the brake lights there, but you still have like the old school incandescent bulbs there for the turn signals and everything. But that's about it here for the rear end styling. Let's pop open this back trunk and talk about the cargo capacity in the 4Runner. We're here today filming this video at the one and only Okotoks GM just south of Calgary, Alberta. I'm actually part of a dealer group. We sell vehicles of every single make and model. If you live in Canada and have a loved one or yourself, if you're looking for a new or used vehicle, any make and model, reach out to me personally. My contact information is down below. I'd love to help you out. Anyways, without further ado, let's get back to the video. Okay, trunk of the 4Runner. It is not a power assisted door. You do have to lift it up with your hand. Same thing with the second row seats there. There's no buttons or anything like that on the side. It's a 3-step manual fold down of those seats, which I'll show you just a minute here. But yeah, very little power assist in anything in this vehicle. It's just the less that can go wrong, the better, as 4Runners say. So storage capacity numbers though are very impressive in this thing. So this does have optional third row seating, not in the TRD Pro specific trim. In like the SR5 and like the Limited, maybe a couple others, I can't remember off the top of my head if the Sport and TRD Off-Road have 3 rows. In the Pro though specifically, only it's standard 2 rows. You cannot get a third. So you do get a lot of storage inside this guy here. So with the second row seats up exactly how they are right now, you're gonna get 47 cubic feet of storage. And then when you fold them down, which I'll show you how to do right now, you get 89 cubic feet. So 3-step process. You flip up the bottom portion like that, the headrest comes down, and then third, you click the button on the shoulder, and then the whole thing folds on down. So that then gives you 89 cubic feet. It is also not a flat load floor. I really wish it was, but again, not the end of the world. This does have the full JBL premium audio system, which is standard in the TRD Pro trim. There is no underfloor storage in this guy, no lid that you can lift up or anything like that, just because they do have an optional sliding tray for the trunk here. I'm assuming that's why that they don't put underfloor storage. And then you get some power outlets here. Now you got the 120 volt here, the little 12 volt right next to it. You get some storage cubbies there on either side. And other than that, that's about some tie down points and whatnot, but that's about it here for the trunk. Let's go hop in the front seat now of this 4Runner and talk about the technology in this. And coming on into the 4Runner, you do have blind spot monitors on either side mirror. One of the few pieces of technology that the 4Runner does include for you. There's a quick look at the interior. We're gonna start here at the doors and then work our way on in. So for the doors, you do have nice leather kind of wrapping on the whole top portion here and your armrest and everything. The whole bottom half of it is all the cheaper black plastic as expected. Nice good sized door bin, nice and long on this portion. You do get 2 water bottle holders right there as well too. You got some gloss black trim, which I'm not a huge fan of just because it shows the dust and grime and everything really quickly. And then you do have 4 automatic windows, no power memory seats or anything like that. You do get power seats here for the driver and passenger, lumbar here on the driver hand side. You have the TRD logo stamped up into the headrest, and just your basic Toyota plain Jane, nothing fancy and special looking seats here. These is fake leather. If you want real or more kind of a premium feeling leather interior, go for the Limited trim. But it's not exactly why you're buying the TRD Pro now, is it? You do get a push button start in this. The classic kind of noisy, loud startup that all 4Runners and Toyota Tacomas and Tundras and everything like that have. Overall, the whole kind of dash, everything like that, it is very outdated in here. There is some good, well, decent tech, I guess. I mean, like one of those things I'll show you right now. You do have here a button for the camera system. So when you click that, I like that it's a manual button for the cameras just so it's easily accessible while you are, say, driving off-roading and whatnot, and then you need to access your forward-facing camera really quickly. But these cameras are nothing to brag about per se. They are very old very low resolution. Like, it looks like a backup camera from like 2005, and this is a 2024 model year vehicle. You know, even if they're not going to do a whole refresh of everything on the interior, I would have liked to see them do a refresh just to the camera systems alone, just kind of spruce them up a little bit and give a bit more of a clearer image. When you do click that button a few more times, you get a couple different views. So here's your side views. We can kind of look down at your rims there. So make sure that you're not brushing up against any trees or rocks out on the trail. If you're parallel parking, you don't want to scratch your TRD Pro rims, something like that. And we'll go back to the main page. We'll get over to the infotainment screen and system in a second here. Have a look at the steering wheel. It's not a bad looking steering wheel. It's all leather wrapped, and you get some kind of stitching sort of on the inside there. It's nothing special, nothing to brag about. Again, it's not, you're not buying a 4Runner for a high-end premium luxury feel or anything like that. As far as the steering wheel goes though, left hand side is all kind of your media controls, volume buttons, all that sort of stuff. The right hand side, you have a few buttons here for controlling your tiny little screen on in there. You do have some kind of interesting tech. You do have your steering angle monitor there. It doesn't actually show the degree you're turning the wheel like most other new vehicles in the 2024 model year would. It's not the end of the world. I mean, like, people probably aren't staring at the exact degree of their steering all the time or anything like that, but it's kind of nice to have, and it would be kind of neat if the TRD Pro specifically did show that. In here, there's just a handful of things. You can look at your trip A and B's, your tire pressure monitors, all that sort of stuff. And then back to kind of the steering wheel here, well, steering wheel area, you do have an old school stock here for the cruise control. And then just for your gauge cluster here, it is like the old school kind of like analog dials and everything for your speedometer and your RPM gauge. It's nothing, it's not a full digital screen or anything like that. This is a 4Runner that we're sitting in. And then we move on over to the middle section here. You have all hard, cheap plastic dash. And then you got the cheap plastic again here. It kind of looks like an aluminum finish almost, but it is all plastic there. And then you have a decent size glove compartment. And then coming over here for storage capacity in the center console is pretty good actually. So the Ty's Tortuck unit of measurement is baseballs. You can fit 24 baseballs in the center console. This is all leather wrapped. You do get the red stitching in the center console. Same thing with the seats. I forgot to point that out a minute ago, that it'll be a TRD Pro thing. Then you get this carbon fiber trim all in this whole area here. Sorry, it is a little bit dirty. My apologies. This is a pre-owned vehicle. It's got 47,000 kilometers on it. Okotoks GM just got this thing in on trade. But you have a button here for the rear window. It is an automatic window, which is nice. Then you have heated seats, sorry, in the front. They are these dials. I don't know if it's more than one mode. Maybe there might be like 2 settings or something along the lines of that. I'm going to keep it on just because it's pretty nippy outside. And then here's your gear select knob there. And then you have your kind of beefy little knob here to switch from, like, say 2-wheel drive to 4 high, 4 low, and neutral and everything like that. Then you got a couple cup holders diagonally spaced across from each other. And then you get little bits of storage cubbies inside of here, a little one right there, a little one right there, a USB-C, or a USB-A, sorry, and then you have a 12-volt plug inside there as well, too. And then I like that, you know, all manual temperature buttons. I hate when things are all inside the screen, and I would obviously expect to see all manual buttons here in the 4Runner because it is a bit of a dinosaur. And then you come on up here. This here is your infotainment screen. Nothing special, nothing crazy to write home about. Me personally, if I bought this vehicle, I'm just going to be using projection, which is your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This does have like built-in navigation and whatnot. If you actually go to the map itself, it looks pretty. I used to have a 2007 Jeep Grand Cherokee actually, and the navigation system actually looks pretty much the exact same as that. Not a whole ton of tech or features or anything kind of special and cool inside the whole infotainment screen here. This whole portion all around here, this is all gloss black, which I'm not a huge fan of. Like I mentioned, this is a pre-owned vehicle. I gave it a quick wipe before I hopped in here, but the thing is, it attracts dust like crazy. And then you have this almost textured sort of look here on the top portion, not on the rest of it. I don't know why they did that exactly. It's on all the 4Runners, but and then you have your clock right there with actual buttons on the side there to set the time, and you don't actually do that from the infotainment screen like you do with every other vehicle in the entire world. I thought that was kind of interesting to see. No rear view mirror camera, of course, inside this. And here you have some off-road goodies as well too up here, so you have your multi-terrain select and everything like that. all your fun knobs for your or your rock crawl and everything. Your rear axle lock, or sorry, your rear locking rear differential. Sorry, I wish they would do front and rear. Your A track, and then your traction control, and then you have your garage buttons right up there, and then your sunroof controls over there as well too. Not LED interior lights as expected. Same thing with the mirror lighting. It's actually not even on the visor there. But that's pretty much about it here for the whole front end. Let's go jump in the back seat quick and see how comfortable those rear seating passengers are going to be in your 4Runner. Okay, back in here of the 4Runner. So all leather wrapped on the whole top portion, which I like. I'm glad they didn't cheap out and put a lot more black plastic on here. It is all leather on the top half of it, and then the lower portion, of course, cheaper plastic. A little bit of a smaller door bin, again, not the end of the world. And then have a look at the back end here. So you lose the TRD Pro stamped headrests. The seat, sorry, it is a little bit dusty. Again, this is a pre-owned vehicle, but nothing a whole lot to like write home about inside this thing. The leg room isn't all that great. You know what, actually, the numbers wise, the leg room's actually a little bit better, even inside of say like the Toyota RAV4, which is shocking because it is a much smaller vehicle than this 4Runner here. So foot space, you know, if I try to extend it all, my feet are underneath that seat there. Knee room's it's not bad. Like I am comfortable back here. I have a decent amount of headroom. I'm not touching there whatsoever. It's overall, it's not a bad back seat. It's just there could be a little bit more leg room, a little bit more knee room. You do have a big hump here in the center for the center seat. So if you are sitting in the middle of the seat back here and you have passengers on either side of you, you're all going to be fighting for leg room. There's no rear heated seats. You do have a couple USB ports back here for charging, and they are illuminated as well too. But that's really about it here in the back seat of the 4Runner. Oh, you also do have an armrest, and it is all like leather pad and everything like that, and you got a couple cup holders inside there as well too. They seem extra small. It might be an optical illusion, but that's about it here for the back seat. Let's go hop back in the front and take this 4Runner out onto the road and see how it performs. Okay, everybody, driving the 4Runner. So kind of overall impressions with it is when you're on road, nothing to write home about at all. Like it's the vehicle lacks in a lot of areas. Like, you know, it's not that, I mean, the overall drive isn't really that bad or anything like that. I mean, if you're say comparing it to say something like a Jeep Wrangler, for example, million times better, right? Like for how noisy it is in here, it is like driving a Rolls Royce compared to like a Jeep Wrangler, right? It's far quieter, it's a smoother drive on the road, all that sort of stuff. But as far as just if you're comparing it to like just a whack of other just like normal SUVs, it's not that great, right? The power in it, it's lacking power big time. It's kind of noisy in here. It's not horrible for say like wind noise and road noise. It's just when you're comparing it to like a million other vehicles on the market of say like the same kind of caliber and size and whatnot, it's not the best. This thing shines off-road. Where it also does not shine is what I'm about to do right now. Let's do a quick 0 to 60, see how long it takes to get all the way up there. We'll even brake torque it a little bit. 3, 2, 1. A little bit of wheel spin. There's 100. So that's, you know, at 7.6 seconds that, you know, it's estimated there on Google. It's not far off for sure. It is very noisy as well too. So if you want like a nice kind of a quieter driving vehicle, that sport exhaust, it's not the best. And the thing is, it's not like a V8 rumble where it's obnoxiously loud. It's a very loud droning noise inside the vehicle for sure. And the thing is, for people like me, I love 4Runners. I'm a huge 4Runner guy. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's just for like your average vehicle shopper, you know, it's maybe not the best option per se. if you're looking for something just putzing around town and like, you're, to and from work vehicle, going on road trips, stuff like that, it's not going to be the best vehicle for all that kind of stuff, right? But if you want something that's going to last a million years, you can take it up to, 800,000 kilometers on the odometer with having like minimal maintenance and like work and like things not breaking down on you, and taking it out onto the trails and taking this thing off road and beating it up and, doing some rough riding with it. That's where this vehicle shines, and it shines over most of the competition as well too, I gotta say. These vehicles, they're monsters when you hit the trails in them. They are phenomenal, but yeah, for on-road driving, very mediocre, right? If you pull up like the cameras and whatnot, like they're old. Oh, yet you can't even pull up the cameras while you're driving fast, actually. I'm going 60 kilometers an hour. It doesn't even actually let you pull up the cameras. Not even for a few. That's shocking. Most manufacturers, they'll let you pull up the cameras and they'll go on for like 10 seconds or something like that. This actually doesn't let you do it at all while you're up at higher speeds. But other than that, I mean, the seats are relatively comfortable, right? I could do a longer road trip in this. It's not that bad. You do have heated seats. You do have a heated steering wheel. I actually forgot to point it out. I'll give you a quick little panning view of it right now. It's almost, they put it in a location where they almost forgot about it. And the thing is, when I was just going over the whole vehicle and talking about everything, I completely missed it just because it is hidden and they put it in a really weird location. But it does have a heated steering wheel, and but overall, it's not too bad, right? It depends on the type of person that you are. The vehicle also does have remote start as well too. Not a lot of people know that, just because on the key fob, there's not a specific remote start button. So here's the key fob for you. So the way you remote start it is you actually hit the lock button 3 times, and on the 3rd time you hold it down for like 5, 6, 7 seconds or so. The range on it is not good, and it doesn't work every single time that you do it, which is kind of odd because it is a Toyota. You expect everything to work flawlessly. It's just old school, tried and true tech and whatnot. But yeah, I find the remote start. I tried before I started filming the video. I tried it. It was like the 4th time I tried, it finally started up. And the thing is, like, if I'm inside my house and I don't have a view out my window of like my 4Runner sitting on the street or on the driveway or something like that, and I'm just going by trust, hitting that lock button 3 times there and hoping to God that it starts, and it's like minus 35 degrees Celsius outside and I don't want to hop into a freezing cold vehicle, you may or may not come out to a cold vehicle or a warm vehicle. 50% of the time maybe it'll work, but it's not the best system. And a handful of other things, like say like the lane keep warning and all that sort of stuff, they're not the best. It's honestly, all those types of like the safety features on this, they're more annoying than they are beneficial. So personally, I just keep most of them off. But that's my long story short here with the 4Runner. I for people like me, I'm a huge 4Runner fan. I don't mind the slightly rougher ride, bit of a noisier interior. It doesn't bother me. But a lot of people out there, it's gonna drive them nuts. So that's my 2 cents on the 4Runner. We'll see you guys back outside. All right, everybody, that's it for today on the 2024 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think about this generation of the 4Runner. Is this your #1 favorite? Do you like the Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Do you like the 6th gen better than the 5th gen? I'm curious to hear your thoughts down in the comments there. But if you guys are subscribers already, thanks for supporting the channel, sticking around, watching all the videos. If you're not a subscriber already, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share button, all the ones down below. We'll see you guys in the next one.